It's the scariest time of the year. School has officially begun in some places in the world. For me, school hasn't started for me yet, so I'm just chilling. But I know for sure some of you guys have already started going to school, which is a terrifying idea. That's why today we're gonna be reacting to some more school horror stories, starting with
Do not go to school in the middle of the night.
Now, when I go to school, I'm super happy when the last bell rings and I get to go home. So I don't know why I would ever return to school when I don't have to. So I don't even know how somebody would get in a situation where they go to school in the middle of the night unless they were forced to or whatever. So we're gonna see what the story is. Before we start though, make sure you guys leave a like right now,
Especially if you hate school.
and don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications as well, so you don't miss any future videos. And hey, follow me on Instagram at DarkCornersTV. Link is down below in the description. So do not go to school in the middle of the night. Are those two shining eyes?
About 5 years ago, my friends and I were at the school, and we
Bro,
were
you
joking
loud.
about sneaking onto the roof after we noticed a ladder that was leading up to it.
They're gonna sneak
We
up,
all
aren't
kept
they?
daring each other to do it, but no one actually said yes. Then someone dared me.
Oh,
So I
boy.
said, sure, I'll
Group
do that.
pressure.
Meet me here tonight at 10 p.m. Everyone seemed surprised, but
why
in
would you-
reality,
why would you
I was
do that?
hoping that the ladder would be gone by that night, so I wouldn't have to do it.
Yeah,
I
he was
didn't want to
bluffing.
do that, actually.
Alright guys, if you're in high school or in school, whatever, don't let group pressure get to you. Don't do things just because you think it's cool or that people will judge you. When you grow up, trust me, I'm old, I'm almost 69. You will regret doing all those things. You'll be like, wow, can't believe I did that. You know, some PSA from Old Man Dark. You're welcome.
After that night, it was about 9:45 p.m. And then
Oh,
I snuck out my window and headed over to the school again.
are his friends gonna
I
show
crossed
up?
my fingers that the ladder wouldn't be there, but unfortunately, once I got there, all but one of my friends was already waiting, and the ladder was still
They
there.
were not playing around.
One of my friends snickered and told me, "You have to stay there for at least 5 minutes as well." I then sighed and said, "Fine."
What's the worst that
I
could
really
happen?
didn't want to get caught and suspended, so I walked over slowly, hoping that something would happen to us. However, the place around us was so quiet. I reached the ladder and stepped onto it. It wobbled a little bit at first.
Dude, why didn't you check how sturdy the ladder was before you stepped on it? It could break right now. You'd break your neck, your back, your bones, your fingers, your nose, your ears, your eyes. You could break every single bone in your body.
because it wasn't attached to the building.
His
So
friends
I
aren't even
closed my
holding it for
eyes
him.
and took a deep breath, then continued to climb. The higher I climbed, the more and more the ladder was unstable, which
You have two friends with you. Why is none of them holding the ladder? What kind of friends are they? They make you go on a roof in the middle of the night and maybe get in trouble? And they can't even hold the ladder for you? Which is honestly the least they could do in this situation.
made me worried. But I made it to the top
Oh
anyhow.
no, is it gonna break?
I sat down on the roof and looked down to see my friends, but when I scanned the street, I couldn't see them at all. In confusion,
What?
I was about to shout out to find them, then I heard a loud bang, so I stood up and rushed to the edge of the roof.
Oh no, did they get
The
kidnapped?
ladder had fallen. I looked up trying to find my friends and said,
Uh-oh.
"Gee guys, this ain't funny. Where are y'all?" My voice echoed through the dark
That's
in an
scary.
empty street.
He's
The
stuck
night
there.
was cold and I was getting really worried. The school wasn't that tall, but it was still a long way from the roof to the ground.
Yeah, you'd break your ankles jumping
I
down there.
scanned the street one last time, hoping they would reveal themselves. Then I saw something. Those red eyes were staring at me about 100 feet from me. I
What?
froze.
A monster? I was not expecting a monster to actually show up. I was expecting,
A creepy janitor.
or like a serial killer that just happens to be your principal. But there's a monster. Did the monster get his friends? Let's see.
What the heck is that?
It's a monster, obviously.
Showing its teeth, the thing slowly smiled, and the
Oh
street
my
light suddenly
God.
went out. Everything was pitch black. I wasn't sure if I was dreaming or not.
You're not, buddy.
Then the lights turned back on, and I could finally see that creature hiding behind another lamppost.
Oh my god.
It was close to me.
It looks
Whenever the lights
creepy.
went out again and were turned back on, it came much closer. When it finally reached the final lamppost, I was shaking so hard.
Bro, I'm shaking.
I tried to walk backward, but then accidentally stumbled, almost falling
No!
from the roof.
Okay.
However, I managed to stop myself. So I looked down, searching around
Where did
everywhere,
his friends go?
but the creature had disappeared. I thought maybe it's just a nightmare, But I was wrong. I could feel something was staring at me.
How big is that thing?
I slowly turned my head, and there it was.
The
That
hash
thing
slinging
was
slasher?
standing, towering over me. The creature was at least 10 feet tall, and it had bloodshot eyes and the most evil smile I've ever seen. I tried to scream, but no noise came out. It growled at me and
Oh my
stepped
God.
forward.
This thing is creepy, but it has a very striking resemblance to the hash slinging slasher from SpongeBob. Do you guys agree? Let me know down below in the comment section.
I guess I had no choice. I jumped off the
He
roof,
knocked
not
it-
realizing
Oh.
I was right next to the edge. When I fell off, I hit my head really hard against the ground. However, despite the pain,
Go
I
stupid.
jumped to my feet. I ran away from the building as fast as I could,
You survived
glancing
that?
back at the roof to see if that thing was gone. Then I noticed that it was standing in front of a window in the school, still staring at me.
Dang, dude.
I had to stop turning my head. I couldn't put those red eyes out of my mind during the time I was coming back home. When I finally made it back to my house, I ran inside. Of course, my parents yelled at me for being out late at
They're
night,
not gonna believe him.
but I wasn't really listening because I was so scared. So I just apologized and then ran up to my bed. I had to hide under my covers for the whole night.
Dude, you just jumped off a building. You should get checked for internal bleedings, a concussion, a broken neck. Go to the hospital. He just jumped off a building and he survived. Is this dude Superman?
Too afraid to sleep. But the most horrible thing was what happened the next day. The next morning, when I argued with
His
my
friends
friends
are
about
there.
the previous night, leaving me alone, they were all confused and claimed they never went there. Then, what were the messages from my friends that they were coming? And who were they that I saw yesterday? I couldn't say anything.
What?
That was kinda confusing.
So what really happened last night? Did he just imagine everything? What do you guys think? Leave your theories down below in the comment section. Let's watch the next animation. This animation is called My Teacher Got Fired and Now She's Trying to Kill Us. Same.
My name is Karen, and
What up,
this
Karen?
happened when I was 14 years old. I had the best teacher ever who was also really kind.
The same teacher that's about to get fired and is gonna try to kill you? Is that the super cool teacher you're talking about?
She let us do whatever we wanted
Oh.
and didn't care about us at all.
But then, doesn't that make her a bad teacher? I feel like you guys have your, that's not a good teacher. That's a bad teacher. She doesn't care. A good teacher cares.
I know that it wasn't appropriate for her students. However, because we were young kids, everyone liked her except for one person.
Oh, of course.
He was what we called a nerd. He was smart, but he was a big snitch and really annoying.
He's
He
snitching?
always said we all needed to study and not goof around, but everyone ignored him. We heard that our teacher had been fired. There were rumors going around about her. One was that she was fired because the nerd had snitched on her and
About
told his
what?
parents. They all complained to the principal. Soon the nerd was bullied a lot because of it, and he finally ended up leaving the school
No,
and
that's
moving
mean.
to another one.
That's just
When he
mean.
packed his stuff and left the classroom on his last day, I saw him crying and staring at us with a bruised eye.
Wait a second. Why do I feel like there's gonna be a plot twist and it turns out it's this dude who's trying to kill them and not their old teacher? Let's see if I'm right.
It gave me goosebumps. About 2 years later, on a rainy day,
2
we
years
had
later?
to stay inside the classroom. We were just talking, playing, and doing other stuff as usual. When the class was about to start, our teacher told us all to use the bathroom beforehand. So while some of us were walking to the bathroom, we saw that the teacher who had been fired walked into the school. She was calm. As we walked past her, she suddenly looked at us, stopped us, and said, "Wait,
Oh.
I know you. You guys were in my class, right?"
Yeah, so don't
she
kill
was
us.
smiling at us, but somehow she looked very tired. and
Yeah.
I felt a bit weird. We replied,
I feel weird.
Yes, ma'am." At that very moment, we saw a gang of boys following her. and I could see that they were holding knives with some blood on it. We then
What?
started screaming, but all the classrooms were far away from the bathroom, so nobody could hear our desperate
no.
screams. Then we turned around and told the teacher and the gang to please go away and spare us.
What? Why don't you run away? Why scream? Scream and run! Scream and run!
Our teacher glared at us for a while and slowly started smiling. Don't worry, you are next. As soon as she told us this, someone abruptly pulled out a knife and they all started grabbing us. The next thing I knew, we were dragged onto some
They just got
kind
kidnapped.
of big van. My friends and I were crying and terrified.
Is nobody looking outside the window? Is nobody who's in a classroom watching this unfold outside the window? I know about you guys, but when I used to go to high school, 9 out of 10 times, you would catch me looking out the window or daydreaming or just not doing anything. Not doing the work I was supposed to do, which also explains why I'm illiterate.
I knew something bad was going to happen. However, at that moment, when they pulled us into a van, we suddenly heard a loud siren.
5-0!
Fortunately, one of the teachers saw when they entered the school and stabbed some of the students. He immediately called the police. After they were arrested, all the students had to go home early and the school
course.
closed for a week. It turned out that the gang was hired by former surgeons who were fired for removing people's organs and killing them. Furthermore, our psychopath teacher
What?
had been working with them, and she was a murderer who would have murdered parents and raped their kids. A few months after, the whole gang was sentenced to 10 years in prison.
What?
She finally received a death sentence. However, that was not all. To our surprise, the police also found out that
Yup.
the nerd had been helping the teacher with murder for a long time. I don't know why he did that, but anyway, he will be charged with helping her with murder when he turns 18.
Whoa, chill, dude. Why'd you do that? Anyways, I have one big question. If they're trying to find people to kill and steal organs from, okay, you know what? I was gonna tell them how they should do that, because walking into a school and kidnapping children out of the hallway, that's not a good way to go about it, because that's gonna get you caught, as we just saw. But right before I was about to tell them how they should steal organs, I just realized
What if you creeps
could use my advice and then I'd get in trouble. So I'm not gonna tell you anything I know. Matter of fact, I don't know anything about stealing organs. I really don't. Anyways, guys, those were the animations for today. I really hope you enjoyed them. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And hopefully I will see you all next time. Now check out these other videos. Dark, signing out.